Yolz, and today I'm greeting you outside my house because I can. Anyway, come inside. Let's come inside. I just asked for your help on my Instagram. I wanted to know what lessons, life lessons, adulting lessons, life hacks that you wish university taught us. I find that real life hits and you realize that university didn't actually prepare you for real life. So this video is not sponsored, but it is in partnership with you, my gals, with all of you. So let's go to my room and go and film. Let's close Fairs out and prepare to film this video. I'm so excited. Like, I'm so excited I picked up the camera before I put it on the tripod and started filming, like my usual setup. If you guys do enjoy this video, you know what to do. Give it a massive thumbs up. Comment down below. Let me know if you love the intro. I don't know if it was different. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Anyway, let's get the jingle going while I set this up, and I will see you in a moment.
Hey there. It's Yolz channel.
Alrighty, let's get straight into it. Number one, I just got something from Zane_Lamini, and she says she wishes university taught her about failure not being the end of the world. It's a beautiful part of your journey. Oh my gosh, so true, honey. I just think failures should not be seen in a bad light. I watched a video saying something around failing fast so that you learn quickly, you know. So having your failures come and go, in other words, so that you can sort of make your mistakes, get up and go, you know, get your life basically, make right, learn from your mistakes and move on. So I do wish that failure was one of the things that we were taught of, that it's not really that bad. Yes, failing a module really sucks, but at the same time I feel like our lectures should also say, you know what, it's not the end of the world. You can dust yourself off, do better, improve, which they kind of do, but they don't apply that to real life. You know, even if you do fail at certain things, it's actually okay. You'd rather fail now and fail fast so that you learn from that mistake and move on and make better decisions in life. So yeah, I definitely wish university taught us that failure is not the end of the world. Mrs_Ulana says financial literacy. So this is coming up a lot. One thing university did not teach us was things like budgeting, things like taxes. I mean, unless if you're doing accounting and finance. I did finance, so I was exposed to sort of financial literacy, but not personal finance. It's one thing to do a balance sheet for a business or, you know, a manufacturing company, whatever. It's another to actually talk about your life. Personal finance, things like learn that as much as you're going to be earning this much for the first time in your life, your expenses are also going to increase with how much you're actually earning, and the fact that you're going to try and make your expenses less, but more likely than not you're gonna have your expenses exceeding your income. I just wish somebody taught me that. Like, I don't know, I just felt like because I could live off of a 500 rand in a month, you know, in varsity, I thought it's going to be the same if I get my 40,000 rand a month, working in corporate. Things are going to be a-okay. I'm not going to be broke near the end of the month. You come working real life and I end up actually just hoping can the 25th come already, because wow, Guyabanda and Amnamal, you know, it's cold and I don't have money. Somebody asked me to translate, so I'm translating right now. Could we all just have like a 2 or 4 week crash course on personal finance at varsity? It could literally be added in our first year and our final year, because I think it's really important if it's in our final year as well, just to remind us again, because we're about to earn a whole lot of money that we've never seen in our lives before, at least in our own bank balances. So since we're going to be earning that much, can they just give us a quick crash course on how to handle our personal finances, from saving to budgeting, you know, like from as little as just tell me, try and keep 20% of your income in your savings and try to save first before you spend anything in the month. Like, can they tell me that first? Because I know the minute I started working, yo, wowzers, oh my goodness, the first thought that came to mind was shopping, because I needed clothes. I've mentioned this before, I come from, you know, a poor background, so getting into work, the first thing I thought of was shop. Although I didn't splurge that much, but I do think that university should definitely teach us to please save our money and be less spenders, and to just try and avoid debt as much as possible, invest in good things. Just every faculty, even the arts department, the language faculties, the teaching, the laws, not only in finance. I don't think this should only be in the BCom degrees anyway. I feel like it should be across all faculties. Teach us how to handle our personal finances. Please, we'll be better adults in that way, and more young people will actually know how to better utilize their money, where to invest it, and to actually grow legacies, because it's something we don't know. That's another thing university doesn't teach you. Our university lectures never speak about how when you get into the workplace, you actually end up working with trust fund babies, people who know people with money, people with backgrounds whose parents have sort of stocked up. We don't talk about how their parents did it, and that we, especially the previously disadvantaged black kids, can also do it for ourselves and for our family, and how we can go about that. I wish university could teach us that both in first year and in our final year, just again to start sort of creating that mentality for most of us, to have that trust fund mentality. I mean, I started thinking about that when I entered the workplace, when I realized, well, I worked at Private Wealth initially before I went into property. My graduate program was there, and we worked with high net worth individuals. Their children were trust fund babies. They had trusts. They had all these things that their parents put in place for them. And I wish I knew about that back in varsity, so that when I get to work, I can actually be mentally prepared to start that financial preparation for the rest of my life, for my future, for my children. So now only, you know, when I'm older and more wiser, I decided, you know, by the time when Fez is born, I need to put things in place so that when he's older, he's already got a stash of his own, and he's a trust fund baby, and he can, not necessarily for him to say he's a trust fund baby, but for all my children to sort of have a stashed up somewhere, so that we can raise a generation that are not necessarily spoiled, but do have the financial backing in order for them to sort of do more with their lives when they're older, and have the advantages that our white counterparts have right now. So yeah, I don't know, I just feel like there's a major gap in our universities and in our colleges and our tertiary education, that they don't speak about that, and that's real life, you know. And essentially, when you do get into the workplace, you are competing with those people, and that's why sometimes our generation splurges initially when we get to work. We want to buy the fanciest car. We want to not only compete intellectually, which is all we should be doing at work, we want to compete materially as well, and we forget the fact that that guy, his dad bought him that car. In fact, he had his car when he started university. You didn't, and now you want to match up that standard. His parents had a 20, 30, 40 year head start. So why are you competing? Can university just start preaching that kind of thing? I don't know. Can we change the curriculum here? Tabi Singh Matole just said that studying in order to secure a job does not fulfill your purpose. Oh yeah, so we all wanted to be CAs, and we all wanted to be doctors when we were in matric, because we were told that's what we should study for if we want to be rich one day, and if we want to make it one day. But the question is that even your purpose in life? Is that even your passion? I just wish that people were more realistic, our parents, so to say. But again, it's hard for our parents because they didn't have, and they want the best for us, and that sounds like the best for us. Yeah, it's a catch-22. But I do wish university, even pre-university, universities could go to certain schools, speak to matriculants about following their purpose rather than the ideal job that's going to make you money. I don't know, I feel like we live in a world where it sounds so glossy outside of university, when you realize that outside of those fences, the world is unsafe, the world is cruel, and it's even tougher than what you thought tough was when you were in first year, failing your first and your second and your third module in your first semester. In fact, failing that whole year. You thought it was tough. When you get out of that, you realize how tougher it really is, and that what you really would like is not what you're doing, and it's not what you studied for. So yeah, I don't know, there's a major unrealistic balance when it comes to studying to secure a job and studying to fulfill your purpose. So yeah, I don't know, I feel like universities and schools should interact more with that and try to bridge the gap when you are in matric, and sort of give us those realities and guide us into, you know, finding our purpose. I know in LO we did like the aptitude test, but that's like 1 or 2 weeks spent trying to figure out what you should be doing, rather than a whole year, maybe even 2, maybe from grade 11 or grade 10, where they should start having those conversations and giving us the raw truth about real life. This is definitely a pre-university thing, a high school lesson. But yeah, just training around following your purpose, how to go about finding it, how to go about following it rightly, and not necessarily going to university because it's the right thing to do, but rather doing what you think will fulfill you one day in life and make money at the same time. Felicity Kuti is saying, I wish uni taught me about networking being as important as your studies. Oh my goodness, definitely. Can you believe that only after varsity did I connect with those same varsity people, and we were able to create synergies and come up with business ideas together. And in fact, I even went into a partnership with somebody who was in my very class, but we didn't network at all while we were in varsity. But it's something that I definitely think should be part of like a course such as strategic management. They do talk about networking in strategic management, but they don't really expand on it. So again, I feel like in first year and in final year they should have a quick crash course on real life that does include subjects like networking. Network in university. Those friends that are there might as well be your business partners. They may be people who you meet one day who even offer you the job that you want, and that kind of thing. So yeah, I feel like networking skills are very necessary. Networking skills in general should be taught in university. There should be a crash course on how to network, how to introduce yourself in a room, how to make yourself visible in a room. If you are shy, if you're an introvert, even if you are an extrovert, how to do it right, how to have a certain aura about yourself. I don't know, I feel like it's a grooming class that's needed. Is it a grooming class? Maybe a grooming and a networking class in one. I don't know. Am I making sense? I think I'm making sense. So yeah, I feel like we should have tutorials around how to carry yourself when it comes to networking, how to approach people. I always knew something about myself, and especially, and I used to use this in interviews for sales positions. If I wanted a sales position or a position as an analyst in a sales team, I always say, well, put me in a room and I can get 20 business cards for you, just like that, because I had practiced and practiced and practiced how to introduce myself, allowing myself to listen to the next person talk about themselves. If I don't know what to say, allowing myself to listen enough to know what to pick up on so that I can ask and keep the conversation going. Like, I just wish there was a class on that, but I learned here on YouTube. I learned through asking people questions, through asking my bosses, my colleagues at work, all those things, and I developed the skill over time. But I wish the skill was sort of taught in university already. We would be sharper individuals outside of university. Can you imagine us being able to hold conversation intellectually, hold conversation in a professional manner, knowing that we are skilled and we're skilled from university, because these are things that really count. And essentially, when we do get out of university and start our interviews, we are more likely to make a better impression if we know how to even speak properly outside of university, not our university slang, our university languages, and the things that university doesn't teach us. So there you are sitting at an interview and you don't even know how to conduct yourself because university never taught you that. I just wish uni could become more practical in terms of the lessons they teach when it comes to corporate and working outside of university in general. Sisipo_Poopa says, life after obtaining the qualification. Whew. Well, I kind of already spoke about that already. Life after obtaining your degree is completely different to what it was trying to get that degree. We said no degree, no sleep. But wow, after that, the grind of trying to find a job, and when you do find a job, you might find yourself being ripped off in terms of pay. You've studied, you're highly qualified, but you are sorely underpaid, and then you struggle to even climb the corporate ladder, to crack through the race ceiling. You are competing against your white counterparts. You have to work twice as hard as they do to get half of what they have. And this is just me in general, my experience in Cape Town, and I do have a video on that. My experience in Cape Town was very much like that. Corporate there was like, I just kept on fighting. No matter how hard I worked, it was just not enough. In fact, somebody did say that too. Honey was preaching. Palesa MMK said that no matter how hard you work, to someone else it will never be enough. So do your best. You can work however hard you want to, but there are certain corporate spaces that just don't allow for growth, especially for young black women. Okay, so yeah, I can preach on that subject. Let me know if you want a whole video on that, but that's a whole video on its own. I think I should actually mix that with negotiation, which is my next point. But yeah, it's tough out there, and no matter how hard you think you're working in university, it does not prepare you for real life after you've obtained your degree. Negotiation skills, oh my goodness, I had to learn this the very long and hard way. Okay, I had a sister. Yeah, she was called my sister because we looked the same and we had cheeks and we were like the only two black girls in the company. But anyway, she was somebody who every 6 to 9 months or so, she would relook at her package and look at all her workload from what it was in the beginning of the year to where it is now, how hard she's worked. She'd pack it up and put it sort of in a portfolio. And when it comes to like performance management, that was her time to actually try and up her price and try and negotiate a higher salary. She knew, for one, that she was underpaid and that she was working very, very hard. Every time those performance management sessions came, she would take that chance to actually renegotiate her salary. Can university teach me that? I mean, at the time I was just like, what do you do? But then I realized she was underpaid and she definitely deserved way more than what she was earning. But it also taught me to toughen up, because men do negotiate their salaries and they're upfront about what they want and they know their value. We as women always shy away from talking about money to our bosses, especially if we have women bosses. I don't know why we're intimidated, but it's something that we need to start discussing, and something that university could actually initiate in our final year. Our lecturers also earn a salary, and I'm sure that they also negotiate, but why aren't they teaching us this? It's real life. Like, can you teach us that at least? So yeah, I learned over time, after 2 or 3 years. In fact, in my 3rd year of working, I knew that I need to write the number down. When I go to the interview, I speak, I'm glad, I can see you about to hire me, and then I tell you what I want. Even if it's after you've told me and you've given me a very low number. I mean, I've had an interview where we were back and forth. You know, let me make an example. He was like 300k and I was like, no, 350. And then he went 320 and I was like, no, 340. And then he went 330. And I was like, okay, I'll stick to 335, because I went in there thinking I want 330 out of this deal. That's just an example, 330,000. So that's just an example. You go in there having your ballpark where you want to be, and then when you start negotiating, you highball that person so that they come low. And a really successful negotiation, which I learned recently from Signed Blake on Instagram, she said it's when both parties leave there feeling screwed. So you need to feel like you left something on the table, and so does the other party, okay? You both need to feel like you lost something. At the time, it had taken me 2 whole years to get to a point where I was upfront with what I want in life. And I knew my living expenses very well. You know your living expenses very well. You can't compromise on that. And better yet, if you are headhunted, that is your higher chance to highball them like no one's business, okay? So I just wish university taught negotiation skills 101. Can we have 101 and then 303? 1 in first year, 1 in final year, and we could all just win in life. We could all just, not necessarily to all be paid highly, but to be paid as per our worth. Lisa_Yankees, I love this girl. She's always commenting, she's always engaging. Thank you, babes. She says more about the real working world. Wow. Okay, so I did touch on the real working world. It's tougher than it seems. You have to work really, really hard to even stand out. But I do wish they actually taught us working skills. When you are in a job, the fact that firstly, you will get tired of waking up every single day, but you need something that motivates you to wake up every single day and go back to work. Things like being proactive. 2 years into working in corporate, only then did I learn about how to be proactive, how to take charge, how to ask questions, how to be super active in a meeting but subtle in the same way so that you're not annoying, you know. I learned all those soft and hard skills much later, and that's because I got myself a mentor. I started asking questions. But this could have been taught in university, man. I don't know, like the things that I learned in university, I don't use half of those things. And the things that I really need, I don't know how to do. I gotta Google them, I gotta YouTube them, I gotta find them somewhere and grab somebody's ear and ask them to just sit down and listen to me and teach me how to do X and Y at work. Alrighty, I'm gonna leave it there. I had so much fun filming this. Shoo! The things that are running through my mind of how many different things I wish university taught me, it's crazy actually. It's actually immense, because the things I stress about right now are the things I never even considered existed back when I was in varsity. So we're real in real life. Adulting, hashtag adulting 101. It gets real, but I do wish universities do change a little bit in terms of just adding these things into our first year and incorporating them into our final year, all for the preparation of, you know, strong adults who are sharp and ready for the working world, strong adults who are ready to be entrepreneurs, strong adults who are ready to tackle life and build a strong, steady future, especially a financial future. So unfortunately, The system is not like that, but we can always stream, which is why you are watching this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. In fact, if you did enjoy this video, you won't just like or comment, you'll actually like, comment and subscribe. So click the subscribe button, it's absolutely free, and join the Yolz channel family. I love you guys so much, and I do really hope you found this video a little helpful and a little comforting. It's gonna be alright. I'm here to teach you some of the things that university didn't teach you, so it's fine. I love you guys so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.